Behold, the Lamb of God. Move or I'll whip you. Using ordinal English dramatra, fake lamb equals 51. Using standard English dramatra, fake lamb equals 105. Using standard English dramatra binary, fake lamb also equals 105. Using base 6 English dramatra, fake lamb equals 306. Using Latin dramatra, fake lamb equals 24. And using Jewish Old English dramatra, fake lamb equals 75. If we total all of these numbers for fake lamb, we get 666. And who else can this fake lamb be but Harry, the man whose name means the lion in Hebrew? In fact, the standard Hebrew dramatra for Harry is 216, which has the factors 6 times 6 times 6. And the ordinal Hebrew dramatra for Harry is 36, which has the factors 6 times 6. This is what 1 Peter 5 verse 8 has to say about the devil being a lion. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Wherever the fake lamb went, bloodshed was sure to follow. This is a map showing a correlation between Harry's whereabouts and mass shootings in the United States of America. Now, Prince Harry has, to my knowledge, visited North America on 10 occasions, with 4 visits to Canada and 7 visits to the United States, with 1 visit incorporating a visit to both countries. His 2013 visit to Capitol Hill also involved a visit to Colorado Springs to open the Warrior Games. And his 2015 visit to the White House also involved a visit to Fort Belvoir in Virginia. The choice for the Invictus Games to be in Toronto and Orlando reflects the visits he made there when he was 7 and 9 years old, respectively. This map shows the year for each previously prescribed visit. This is a cluster map showing the year of each mass shooting in the US. The diameter of each circle reflects the number of people that died in that location. Of particular interest is the Las Vegas, Nevada 2017 shooting and the Orlando, Florida 2016 shooting. The 2017 Invictus Games ended on the evening of the 30th of September, leaving Prince Harry bound to another day in the city. According to the court circular on the royal.uk website, Harry arrived in the morning at Heathrow Airport on the 2nd of October. It takes 7 hours to fly from Toronto to Heathrow, which means that Harry was very close to being there right up until midnight. It was at 10:05 on the evening of the 1st of October 2017 that gunman Stephen Paddock opened fire on concertgoers in Las Vegas, killing 58 and injuring 851. 5 years earlier, Prince Harry was famously photographed naked whilst playing strip billiards at the Wynn Hotel, less than 4 kilometres north from the Mandalay Bay Hotel, where Stephen was positioned on the 32nd floor. Like the naming of the Invictus Games, the Mandalay Bay Hotel has origins that go back to a wicked poem. Here is part of that poem by Kipling. Ship me somewheres east of Suez, where the best is like the worst, where there aren't no 10 commandments and a man can raise a thirst. For the temple bells are callin', and it's there that I would be, by the old mole men pagoda, looking lazy at the sea. Please bear with me as I build a case for some very significant gematria calculations. First of all, using ordinal English gematria, the following two sentences both equal 666. Stephen Craig Paddock, Las Vegas strip shooting from a Mandalay Bay hotel. Stephen Craig Paddock, Las Vegas strip shooter, Nevada Paradise, Mandalay Bay. I would like to point out at this point that using ordinal English gematria, the gematria for devil is 52 and the gematria for Satan is 55. If you add them together, you get 107. This just happens to be the gematria for the word shooting. The gematria for Stephen Paddock is 141, using ordinal English gematria, the same for Invictus Canada. The Greek letter digamma is the ancient letter that stood for the number 6 and for the sound w. This letter is spelt war in English, W-A-W. War equals 141 using ordinal English gematria and would be the equivalent of saying 666. Using base 6 English gematria, Stephen Paddock Mandalay equals 1272, the same for Invictus Canada, using standard and ordinal English gematria added together. Using Jewish Old English gematria, Stephen Paddock equals 440, the same as the title Antichrist, using the same gematria system. The gematria for Stephen Craig Paddock, which is his full name, is 889, using standard and ordinal English gematria added together. The same gematria as Harry, using just standard English gematria. The grand gematria for Stephen Paddock is 2627, using 5 gematria systems, namely standard, ordinal, base 6, binary, and Jewish Old English gematria. This is the same gematria value for the first 11 words of Revelation chapter 6 verse 1, which says the following: "And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals," using cardinal ordinal English gematria. There are 2 more gematria calculations that involve the first 11 words from Revelation chapter 6 verse 1. Using ordinal English gematria, "And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals," equals 385, the same as the following words: Stephen Craig Paddock, mass shooting, Nevada. Using Jewish Old English gematria, "And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals," equals 2798, the same for the following words: Stephen Paddock, Las Vegas strip shooting, Nevada. using ordinal English Dramatra, Stephen Craig Paddock, Mandalay Bay Hotel, Las Vegas shooting equals 531. Prince Harry equals 135 using the same Dramatra system, which is the mirror number of 531, and, if added together, equals 666. Using Latin Dramatra, the same phrase, Stephen Craig Paddock, Mandalay Bay Hotel, Las Vegas shooting, equals 216, which has the factors 6 times 6 times 6, and is the same value for Harry using standard Hebrew Dramatra. Likewise, Stephen Paddock Murderer, Las Vegas Strip, Paradise, Nevada, equals 531 using ordinal English Dramatra, and incredibly 216 using Latin Dramatra. Using cardinal ordinal English Dramatra, Stephen Paddock killed 58, injured 851, equals 3,996, which has the factors 6 times 666. These are just some of the calculations that I have uncovered. Now I'll move on to some very significant calculations. Let me once again lay some groundwork for a very significant number. The number is 1674. 1674 is comprised of 4 numbers that have very significant 666 signature markings within. 1674 is comprised of 4 numbers: 216, 396, another 396, and 666. As you already know, 216 is comprised of the factors 6 times 6 times 6. 396 is comprised of the factors 66 times 6. And there is 2 of those. So if you like, the second one could be 6 times 66. And then we have the number 666. So it is a highly saturated number when it comes to the mark of the beast, the number of the beast. It is a highly saturated number with the number 666. So using base 6 English Dramatra, the phrase Antichrist, look to Harry, equals 1674. Now, that expression Antichrist, look to Harry, that comes from 2 John 1 verse 6 to 8, using equidistant lettering sequence. So the word Antichrist, look to, and then the letters Harry appear coming down vertically to the end of the word to. So this has been known for some time. Now, in addition to that, the name Harry Mountbatten Windsor equals 666 using standard Hebrew Dramatra. And the Hebrew expression Antichrist, look to Harry, that also equals 666 using standard English Dramatra. Now, the spelling of Harry that Google Translate provides is a definition consistent with carrying out an attack on an enemy or an enemy's territory. So it has a lamed in front of the normal spelling for Harry. So using those two same words or names, so Harry Mountbatten Windsor equals 666, and Antichrist looked to Harry equals 666 using standard Hebrew Gematria. Using ordinal Hebrew Gematria, those two names or expressions equal 171. So Harry Mountbatten Windsor equals 171 using ordinal Hebrew Gematria, and Antichrist looked to Harry equals 171. And if you add all of those numbers together, 171 plus 171 plus 666 plus 666 equals 1674, which, as I've just already explained, has these four very significant numbers which when added together equals 1674. I'll just repeat them. 216, which has the factors 6 times 6 times 6. 396, which has the factors 66 times 6. Another 396, which has the mirror factor 6 times 66. And 666. So here is the thing. Stephen Paddock, Mandalay Killer, using base 6 English Gematria, equals 1674. And first seal, white horse, bow. So 5 key words from Revelation chapter 6 verses 1 and 2. I'll say them again. First seal, white horse, bow. That equals 1674 using base 6 English Gematria. Here is another phrase. Stephen Paddock, Crown Prince, equals 1674. So the prince is obviously Prince Harry, and the prince referred to in Daniel chapter 9 verse 26, where it says, "And the people of the prince that shall come." And crown is the other key word from Revelation chapter 6 verses 1 and 2 that was missing from the second statement that I read. So the third statement that involves Stephen is Stephen Craig Paddock Shooter equals 1674 using base 6 English Gematria. So the next statement is Invictus Games Toronto equals 1674. And in addition to that, the Greek letters chi, xi, and stigma, which are the Greek letters that represent 600, 60, and 6. Those Greek letters in ordinal English Gematria, standard English Gematria, and Jewish Old English Gematria, the Gematria value for chi, xi, and stigma, that also totals 1674. So this is incredible. It solidifies and it reveals that this really is the first seal being opened for all those key words, those key expressions to equal 1674. It is a definite confirmation that the first seal has been opened, and it was opened in accordance with the Revelation 12 sign, which happened on the 23rd of September, and it happened in accordance with this mass killing in Nevada, Las Vegas, which is the highest, the largest mass killing by a single shooter in the United States. Before I move on to the connection with the Orlando shooting, I thought I'd mention one last thing in regards to the number 171 and 666, and that is that they are both triangular numbers. 171 has a base of 18 and 666 has a base of 36. This is highly significant in relation to other triangular numbers I have discussed and other numbers that fit into geometric shapes. Once again, here is the cluster map showing mass shootings in the United States of America. Now, the 2016 Orlando, Florida shooting is the second greatest in the US after the 2017 Las Vegas shooting. The Invictus Games took place at the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex, which is part of the Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida. The closing ceremony took place on the evening of the 12th of May 2016. According to the court circular, Prince Harry arrived at Gatwick Airport on the 14th of May 2016. Orlando International Airport is just 12 kilometers from the Pulse nightclub where Omar Mateen on the 12th of June 2016 shot dead 49 patrons and injured 53. The distance between the nightclub and the sports complex is 26.5 kilometers. The delay of 31 days between events signifies that this event was not as significant as the Las Vegas event, but significant nonetheless and a precursor. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 18 says this: "Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall."